Hey, what's up, you guys? Paul here. Uh, if you recently saw my recent post on YouTube, you'll know that I am making a new video today about how to deal with depression. Now, before you go asking why am I making this video, well, I'm making this video because recently I just lost a friend of mine, and it's been hard trying to just deal with it because loss it's just hard. It is a normal part of life. It Don't get me wrong. It's just something that happens, but like I said, it hurts because when you experience it, when you actually experience it, because it's not just all talk. It's actually the real thing. So now just so you know, it's not out of nowhere. This is just coming from my experience just a few days ago. So, but like I said, loss is just gonna be like a normal part of our lives. It's something that you're just gonna go through at some point. But what matters is how you take the news or how you just process it. Because most of the time we don't acknowledge that we're upset. We just try to pretend like everything's okay, and we don't realize we're actually just making it harder for people to help us. We're just hurting ourselves by just pretending everything's okay, because everything's not okay. Loss isn't something that just suddenly you get over it the next day. It could last for who knows how long. But because if you don't tell people how you feel, or if you just say you're fine when you're really not, then people won't know how to help you through it, or just how to comfort you, or just be there for you when you need them. Because we always need someone there to talk to whenever we're going through hard times. Because after I got the news about my friend from my parents, they were there for me when it happened back. Yeah, I don't know. My emotions were all over the place that day. I was flipping between. I was happy one moment, then I was sad the next, and I just kept going back and forth between those two emotions. Like, I felt like I had mood swings for a second. But I was just glad that my parents were there for me. Just even after they had told me what happened with my friend, they were still there for me, and they were just there to comfort me, even though this is the first time that actually happened. And I thank God that I have them with me, and they're here to comfort and support me in whatever I do. And because it's like my dad said, there's no right way to grieve. We all have our things, but like I said, trying to shield yourself away doesn't make it better. It just lingers on. It makes it harder for you to express yourself. And so far, I've been trying to figure out how I'm just processing the loss of my friend, because I've never experienced something like this before, especially not with someone close to my age. Sorry, I'm just still going through the loop, but it's okay because somehow, despite this, I'm still managing to stay optimistic and just upbeat about the world, because that's just naturally who I am. I'm just someone who can just don't get me wrong, I'm still hurting from it. It wasn't that long ago, but I'm still managing to just carry on with the rest of my life. That's why I'm making this video as an inspiration. Just like, don't be afraid to tell people how you feel. Like, if you're experiencing this, or if something recently happened, do not be afraid to tell people how you feel, or just tell your friend or your family member how you feel, because there's no right way to grieve. It just happens naturally. You just gotta find out what you do best, and what I do best right now is making this video for you guys. Just trying to uplift your spirits, hopefully just make you feel better, because even though we lose the most important people in our lives, we can still make great memories with the others around us, and still honor the said, my parents were here to support me when I found out my friend recently passed away, and I thank God that they're here with me right now, and I'm glad that they were able to help comfort me in my time of need. And if any of you guys have recently lost someone important and you don't know how to feel, it's totally fine. Loss is a normal part of life. It's just something that we all go through. But trying to figure out how to process it is a different story. You gotta just tell somebody, a friend, family member, someone just to help you through it, because if you try to shield yourself off, you try to tell people you're okay, and really you're not. You're just making it harder for people to try and help you, because you're just making it harder on yourself because you don't know how to express yourself. And by telling people you're not okay, or telling people you are okay when really you're not, it just makes it hard for them to be there for you. Because we all need someone important in our lives. Someone to just be there for us. And in return, we have to be there for them if they're going through hard times. Like, I've always been there for everyone in my life who's gone through something rough, even though I didn't experience, even though I haven't experienced the same stuff they have. But now that I'm actually going through it, it's been rough. But that's why I just talk to my parents about it. I just tell them how I just feel about it, because I talk to them about my parents because parents are supposed to be there for you. They're supposed to help you. Just give you advice about anything that they need advice with, and what you need to be prepared for. And that's, like I said, I thank God that they're with me right now, and I'm glad that they were able to help comfort me in my time of need. And for anyone who has experienced this, if you haven't told anyone how you feel, I really stress that you do, so that way you don't feel closed off or like you just can't trust anyone, because you gotta at least tell someone how you feel, or else you're just making it harder on yourself to just try and get through that pain. And for those who haven't experienced it, you can still, for those who haven't experienced it, or they have someone that has experienced it and they don't know how to handle it, just be there for them. You don't have to go through what they have. You just have to know that it's hard. And like I say, you gotta always be there for your friends and family, even if they say they're not okay. Or they say they're okay, because saying you're okay, and then when you're going through something like this, like loss, it just shows that you're not really okay. You're just closing off your emotions because you're just worried about being vulnerable. And I don't know. But like I said, there's nothing wrong with trying to find your way to process grief or loss. Because, like I said, this is just going to be a normal part of life. But the more it happens, or at least as many times as you've been through it, you sometimes become more acknowledgeable about it, and you know how to deal with it. But for people who have dealt with it firsthand, like me, for example, it's going to be hard to try and figure out how you're going to process, your way of loss. Because how I see it, it's wrong that we don't admit we're not okay. It's wrong that we just pretend like we're not okay. We just pretend like we're okay, and then just say we're not, and then you just try to play it off like everything is fine. It's wrong that when we do acknowledge it, we sometimes just react defensively. So, please, I stress that if you are going through something like this, if you're going through loss, please do not be afraid to tell anybody about how you feel, because you don't. Sorry, I'm trying to find the right words. You don't have to be afraid to tell anyone because they're gonna be there for you. They're gonna comfort you. They're gonna do whatever they can to try to help make you feel better, or just help you through it. I promise I wasn't gonna get too far into this. Like I said, I wanted this to be just an inspirational video, and it is. I am trying to be inspirational here. Like I said, even if you are hurt, do not be afraid to tell just whoever it was. You can tell your family member, you can tell your friend, just someone who you're really close to. You can just tell them how you're feeling and just say how you feel about just losing someone special in your life, because this is a normal part of life. But if you don't tell people, then you're just making it harder on yourself and harder to accept what's happening. Because I actually understand why people don't talk about it, because you're worried that if you even just like think about it, then it's all you're gonna be thinking about when you just talk about it. And I get that feeling. It's a feeling that everyone feels when going through loss. But trust me, once you talk about it and you tell somebody how you feel, then you won't feel better automatically, but you'll just feel somewhat better that you just finally express how you feel about the situation. And like I said, there's no right way to grieve. You can go about it however you want, or just losing a friend, because we all lose someone important in our lives, but we can still come back from that. We can still honor their memory and make fun, or make memories with the friends we still have. Okay. Because also, famous singer Ava Ro just released her new single today, "You Let Go." It's about losing a friend, and I haven't heard the song yet for myself, but I do recommend it for anyone who likes to listen to music just as a way to process your problems. Because like I said, losing someone is hard. But it's gonna get better. Trust me, it will. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit that like button, comment what you thought, and don't be afraid to tell people how you feel about something. You gotta learn that there's always gonna be someone there for you. Okay, since we reached the end of the video, I'm just going to give one last word of advice about, just dealing with depression. Just about dealing with depression. Because if you're feeling depressed, just try to find your way of how to process it. And, don't be afraid to admit when you're hurting, because it's just a natural part of life. It's gonna happen. But I just hope anyone who's out there who's recently lost someone, I hope you find a way to still honor the memory and manage to move past it. So anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to rate, like, comment, and subscribe for more, and I will see you guys soon.